Hello everybody, Stephanie here. Good evening or good night, I don't know what time of day it is there. It's late here, so I'm sure it's probably tomorrow there. But greetings from the West Coast, from the Oregon coast. I forget now where we were. Starts with an F. Again, completely exhausted and sleep deprived. I don't know what day of the trip this is. I don't even know what day it is, day of the week. I don't even know the date on top of my head. Yeah. So that's a freeing feeling, but it is some time for some rest. So we made our way through Eastern California, through Lassen Volcanic National Park, and through the lava beds. It was two things that we really wanted to hit because, Jacob wants to be a volcanologist, and he was very interested in those things. And Crater Lake was on the bucket list for this trip, and they just happened to be on that path if we went to Reno. And so we seen what happened with that situation and why we thought it would get better. We planned to stay at KOA in Klamath Falls, which is right inside of Oregon between Lava Bed and Crater Lake, and we got a late start leaving the circus on Friday morning, or whatever morning that was, Monday morning, sorry. We got a late start, and we ended up having to get the oil changed. Yeah, I know. Car check, it did it. The reminder was given. Not sure what happened in the failure of communication there, but anyway, plans went to the wayside, and we finally made it to the national park. And it was quite a long trek because we went from the south entrance to the north entrance, which is great because we get to see the entire park, but at the same time there's lots of stopping and going. We knew we were going to, the Lava Beds State Park, or at least the visitor centers close at 4, and the kids like to do those Junior Rangers programs, and we were going to miss that. And I don't even know, maybe the gates closed, but so we had to make a last minute change again to our plans, and found this little place called Hawks Nest, which if you follow me and you're not from where we're from, you wouldn't know that that's Hawks Nest is in our annual places that we visit. And so I was like, oh, that's perfect. And oh, what a night. She said, because when we were going to stay at KOA, the only cabins that they had, and see, we had an incident with them last year that caused us to not renew our membership with them. And I've talked about this before on my vlogs about customer service, and wanting, having integrity in the business choices that we make, not just in our business that we run, but in the businesses that we choose. So I really wasn't feeling comfortable with staying with them. So when the opportunity came to find a different situation, and then when I called this place and she said, yeah, we have a cabin, but the only one we have left has a bathroom and kitchen. And I was like, oh yes, because that was way better than the one that we were going to stay at KOA. And so you may have seen my post. And for those of you who don't follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I'll put the links here, but the pictures are there, and that's what I said. What information she didn't give us was that the army of cats used that as their piss box on their journey, and then they buried the bodies of their enemies underneath that dwelling. I just want to throw up in my mouth thinking about that place and how grateful I am to have gotten out of there. So we started Sunday night at Circus in Reno with the smell of cigarettes and the weird vibe, and then we ended up last night, and I had to coat my blankets with oils and then cover my face just to be able to stay in there. I just never thought the night would end. And so, we come today, get up, make it to the lava beds, and I have to say, I want to really encourage people to do road trips. People become this instant gratification generation, and there's just something to be said about the road trips, and I think that the hipsters are bringing that back, and I really appreciate it. Or maybe that's something that we're bringing back as trend. But you see so much, and for this one, like, the national parks are so wonderful. Like, you can get an annual pass for $80, and you can go to any of them. It's so worth it. But this one, all three were within, on Siri, on the map says 2 hours each, but we now laugh every time we see a 2 hour, because we know it's going to take way longer than that. Because you drive and you stop and you drive and you stop and take pictures, and everybody else is doing the same. But the lava beds were amazing. Like, I had read about it, and that's why I really didn't want to miss that, because we could have completely bypassed that and went on yesterday evening, and totally missed out on cat piss cabins. But there's lots of caves there, and so that's what I wanted to talk about today. Was the first cave, it was kind of one that they encourage people who aren't professionals or don't have experience with caving to do, and it's well lit. Well, not well lit, but it's lit, and then it kind of gives you a feel for what it's like to go down into the earth. And so the second cave that we chose was one that you could come out a different side. That way we weren't tracking back and forth the same path, which causes a little congestion when other people are on the path. Anyway, it was just one that I now forgot what his name was, the ranger suggested, and so that's the one that we did. And he was like, "You're going to need lights," and I was like, "We have lights on our phone." And when we were talking to a more experienced caver, she was like, "You're probably going to need those lights." So we went back in and got the big lights, and thank God we did. And it was quite scary leading your family down into a hole in the ground and getting so far in. Like, guys, it was very scary. I remember at one point, like, as the terrain started getting rough, it wasn't nice and carved out path. I keep getting shadows in my face, but it wasn't nice carved out path like that first one was. And you're having to watch where you're going, and then you've got these 3 kids following you, and then Neil was leading, like the wolf pack. He was at the back and keeping the light on all of us and helping light the way for them. But I forget how far we got into it. Jacob started to get nervous, and I kept thinking, I don't want to do this. And so the newest tool that we have for our emotional toolbox, for our holistic toolbox, comes from a lady named Mel Robbins, and she spoke at Young Living Convention the last day, so on Saturday. And one of the books, I don't know if that's the name of the book, but her tool is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And it sounds very simple, and first time I heard it, I was kind of like, yeah, well, and then she gets into the neurological reasons, and you'll know I'm a neuropsych nerd, so she was hitting the points right on the head, like, what she was saying is truth. And so Jacob and I were there that day, and we've kind of put it into practice in little ways, and so this gave us the opportunity to put it into practice in a big way. And not only that, but it was this opportunity for a lesson, not just for the kids, but to solidify it for me about trusting the path, because it was already there. We couldn't see it, just like in life, but it was already there. And that putting one foot in front of the other, that might be the only light on the path. I always say wait for the path to unfold, or I tried to do that. Instead of rushing in, I tried to stop, take a breath, pray, center, and wait for the path to unfold. And most of the time, it really is just one step at a time. And then we get a little deeper, and then we get a little more nervous. And so we would 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and our thing was, so we would say something positive. And to say that it was a breeze would be a lie, because kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper into this cave. And then just when I thought, we're going to turn around and go back, like, how much further is this going? I saw a light ahead, and it wasn't the light from the outside, but it was another light from another caver, and they had come in the southern entrance. And so we passed them, and little words were spoke, but as we went on, my load felt lighter. And so I asked the kids how they felt, and they felt better about it as well. And it really went to show the importance that other people showing up along your path at specific and divine appointments, what that does to our soul. And so we were able to continue on and move out. And let me just say that there was nothing more exhilarating than coming up out of the earth, coming along a path that I just didn't think that I could take. I don't know, very accomplished, and we did it together. And we stopped in the pitch black, turned the lights off, and took a moment with each other. And I don't know, something shifted down there in the bellies of the earth, and it was just a beautiful experience. And I'm so grateful that the national parks hold these treasures for all of us, to keep them there for generations to come. And like how easily we could take that and forget about it. I don't know. Go. That is their thing, is hashtag go find your park, or find your park. So we left there and made our way to Crater Lake, which I thought we had hit the epitome of the day. And then when we pull up there, boy, again, these are things that, guys, we've been to a lot of these places, and to tell you that pictures do these places no justice. I think you all get that. You have to see for yourself. But these are three really amazing. They're not top billed. I think that when I was doing the research on this, that Lassen has 100-some thousand visitors a year, and Yosemite gets like 1 million. And not knocking, but kind of. It was my least favorite Yosemite. So I didn't see anything that like floated my boat while I was there. I mean, yeah, the mountain escape was beautiful, but we didn't get out and climb. We have the kids with us, and we don't camp. I may never cabin again in my life. But so yeah, we showed up at Crater Lake, and by this time the kids we had the two of the smallest ones that had a couple temper tantrums, and we were all feeling it, because I don't know that any of us slept very well last night in the piss box, and or the night before in the cigarette circus. I mean, what in the world? This is the adventure. This is, that's what Neil reminds me constantly, is this is part of the journey. And so you take what it is, and I can sit here now at the coast. So this wasn't part of the plan either. We were supposed to stay at another KOA, and I'm going with my gut instinct. And until the universe gives me the nudge to bring that back into our life, I don't think that we'll go back and stay with them. And I don't now trust making, unless I see the cabin in person, reservations. I have my reservations about making reservations at other places. That is the one good thing about KOA, is that you can, even the rustic, just the beds and electric dwelling, is going to be clean. But anyway, integrity, again, business integrity is very important. And we slept in a parking lot. I'll just leave it at that, right outside of Yosemite last year, because of an issue with them, and there was no repercussion, they didn't try to fix the situation whatsoever, and actually they were kind of really rude, and we took it up the chain, and it didn't get any better. And this was something that had been complained about time and time and time again, because they're privately owned, so they're like franchised, I guess. But anyway, the situation is, and that's what happened, and that's what we said, well, then you've lost our business, and so they probably won't get it back again, unless there's like no doubt in my mind that that's where we're supposed to be. So as we were driving, we were going to make our way to Eugene. Shout out to Michael, because that's who I was thinking about. And I was like, let's just go and spend the night at Eugene. Let's get a hotel somewhere clean that we can lay our head down tonight and get some good rest, and then we'll head to the coast, because we start the Goonies tour tomorrow. But we couldn't find anything. Like, everything was booked up, and what little there was left was ridiculously outpriced. So I was like, let me just see what's on the coast, and just so happened to find this place that I cannot even tell you the name, but I'm sure that I will tell you tomorrow when I come live, hopefully. I don't know if I'll be able to. I think that we don't have service here either, so that's the other thing I've learned about Oregon, is that you rarely get service, and when you do have service, it's not a very good connection. But so here we are. So we got here, it was late, and the kids are tired, and so we're gonna get up tomorrow, and we're gonna go out and it's cold here. I'll have a sweatshirt on. So I don't know that we'll play in the ocean, but we'll let them play on the beach. There's some sand dune surfing around here, and that kind of sounds very interesting to me. So we'll check that out. But I wanted to give a shout out to everybody that we are alive, we are okay, we have made it all the way to the West Coast. I don't even know how we got here. I don't even know how many hours we are away from home. An adult want to know, and we're, you know, not done yet. So stay tuned to the next adventures of Legacy, because you never know where we're going to pop up. But this is the trip of circus and mountains for sure, and lakes. I feel like a lot of lakes, or water maybe we should say, because now we're here at the ocean. But we'll see what else this trip brings us. But much love to you guys. Legs out.